Oh, Dan, what are we gonna do with you? Hey everybody, it's Mr. E2099, and today I'm reading a Gizmodo article about DC's DiDio and the success of reprinting older comics and the lack of success with their more modern comics. Now, this article is written by Jason Whitberg, and you can find it on Gizmodo.com. I'll leave a link in the description of the video so you can read it for yourselves, but here we go. We live in an era where making access to high quality versions of retro comics is easier than ever. That can only be a good thing, right? Not exactly, at least according to DC Comics co-publisher DiDio. According to Newsarama, while speaking to fans at DC Meet the Publishers panel at San Diego Comic-Con yesterday, DiDio pulled the audience over just how many people in the room read DC's facsimile editions, reprints of classic storylines from the company's long history in their entirety, right down to the original adverts these issues ran on. I love these things. These are great. The publisher got on board with the trade early this year, following in the footsteps of Marvel, who have been doing a similar thing for a while to this point, and to great success. It's worked well for DC too, but interestingly, DiDio went on to express that it's not necessarily something that he's entirely pleased with. We do these facsimile editions where we reprint older issues of comics, including all the old ads and stuff, and in some cases, these are selling more than the new comics with these characters. People are more interested in buying the stories from 30 or 40 years ago than the contemporary stories, and that's a failure on us. You're damn right it is. Like, you have a great company with great IPs. You can make great stories or have some good books on the shelves. The problem is that you're allowing too many creators to pump in their own beliefs rather than finding, as English would say, the voice of the characters. And that's why people aren't interested in a lot of the modern books, and that's why they go back to the older issues, back when the characters were written as the characters, not just as a mouthpiece for whatever the creator wanted to say. Now going back, we should focus on moving things forward, always pushing the boundaries and finding new stories to tell. That's how we'll survive and grow in this industry. That's how you're dying in this industry. You keep trying to push forward without recognizing what made the past so great. You know, you're trying to find your way through the dark when somebody's already made a roadmap. Jesus. Given all the current shakeups at DC as it tries to realign its current comics output, it makes sense that DiDio would at least like to see more fans invigorated by the current creative output instead of flocking to reprinted classics. But as more and more readers of all ages come into comics for the first time, having easier access to iconic stories from across a publisher's back catalog is a valuable gateway to the legacy history behind those current characters. You know, if you want fans to be more invigorated, maybe have your writers create more invigorating content. You know, it's up to you. You guys are making this. But DiDio is right in that it's the only thing a publisher can focus on. There has to be new books and series to keep it all going. If people aren't on board to the current books on offer as enthusiastically as they're going back to the old ones, there's a problem DC needs to deal with. And we've been telling you how to deal with it for years. I'm making a current series of videos about what's wrong with modern comics, in my opinion. England teams have been saying it, Comics Division has been saying it, just some guys have been saying it. This isn't a new problem, and we've been telling you what the problem is and how to fix it. The problem is you're not listening to anybody who isn't named DiDio. Even Gary Conway weighed in on this. At SDCC, DiDio's regret success of old comics reprints. Here's a thought: if you're a publisher or an editor, ask why older comics are selling better than current material. Ask what the people creating comics back then knew what you don't. Alright. I think I'm going to leave it here because this is a topic that we've covered, I'm still covering in greater detail in a series of videos, but unless DiDio gets its head out of its own ass, nothing's going to change. Alright everybody, this is it from Mr. E2099. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video if you enjoyed it, and remember, life is always better with a little mystery.